Hey, welcome back to another Epidose. It's crazy people that just keep eating meat and other animal-based products. You can't stop talking about it. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to another short riz, one of our short videos. And we also do long format videos. And we hope to entertain you and pass on a little information, maybe just give you some observations from the carnivore community. I know there's a lot of people out there wondering what all these people that just eat meat, those people that forego vegetables and fruits and all that stuff, grains, seed oils,
nothing that comes from an animal.
Right. So Justin, why don't you tell us what the topic is today?
Yeah, I certainly will, but I just want to take a moment. Welcome everyone to another one of our episodes, The Meat Mosaic. I am Justin. This is Tom. Go ahead and slap a ribeye on that like button. Throw a little bit of egg right there on that subscribe button. And I don't know, how about a little bit of cheddar cheese on that subscribe bell so you're notified whenever we get
are you
a new video coming out. Foreshadowing. So you're stepping it up. Foreshadowing. Yeah, today's topic is falling down the cheese hole.
Falling down the cheese hole?
The cheese hole.
Is that a thing?
And that is not a shady gentleman's club down the street. I promise.
By the airport?
By the airport. Yeah. It's not.
No, we're not talking about shady places near the airport.
No, not this time at least.
So you were seduced by some cheese at the fancy store the other day?
I was seduced by some cheese, yes.
But not at a shady place down by the airport.
No. This is clearly in the center of downtown.
Downtown Springfield?
Downtown Springfield.
Was Homer there eating all the samples?
No, that'd be funny though. That'd be great. Neither did I see Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I know he's also quite the cheese connoisseur as well.
Yes. Yeah, I saw him eating some fine cheeses with crow eggs just the other day.
Yeah, he certainly likes to do that. Yeah, it was a sample cheese they had there. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it was really good. I did stop at the one allowed sample. I didn't grab I was tempted though, don't get me wrong.
Wasn't it? We think it might have been Ripneer.
Yeah, Ripneer cheese, at least something very close to that. Yeah, which is like a year aged kind of cheddar. It's absolutely delicious though. Yeah, me.
My girlfriend's coming back from Wisconsin on Monday, and rumor has it there's some 16-year-old cheddar in the luggage.
What? Nice.
Yeah. Spoiled like that.
Cheese is great. It's a dairy that's interesting because even people that struggle with most dairy, usually there's a type of cheese that they can have. Typically, whether it's like a Parmesan, a cheddar, a mozzarella, a provolone. I mean, we all know there's so many different kinds of cheeses. No way we would be able to list them all here. And I like cheese. I'm pretty simple though. I'm really good with a nice Tillamook cheddar. It's kind of my favorite. I really like that. It's easily accessible. Tom has seen me go down on some apple smoked, what is it that I like?
Smoked Gouda.
Smoked Gouda. Yeah. Smoked Gouda, really, really good too.
I'll take credit for corrupting you.
Yeah. Me eating like a quarter pound of smoked Gouda. Yeah. It's interesting. And mozzarella, of course, nice to sprinkle on some things. I don't do too much Parmesan, but I've got some Parmesan butter in the fridge right now. So that's good. It's garlic herb butter topped with Parmesan, which is so incredibly good. But yeah, I would say, there's a lot of people that think there's no, I don't want to use the word pleasure, but there's no fun in carnivore, right? Cheese is fun. I mean, there's tons of variety there. Many different kinds of flavors. Some are a little on the sweeter side, some a little sour, some are textures even different.
And let me take a moment for those of you who don't know. I've been in search of trying to find some Gammelost, the old cheese from Norway, for a long time. It has clearly disappeared from the Northern Hemisphere. Well, it has clearly disappeared from North America. All the people who used to make it in the Midwest seem to have passed away and took their recipe with them. I actually bought a book, tells how to make it, but cheese, that's like a whole, like, that's not just a little hobby. You gotta, like, you need equipment and all kinds of stuff, and I haven't gotten into it, but it's kind of my mission to find some Gammelost, or, I don't know, maybe when I retire, I'll start making it. I'll be the only guy in North America making Gammelost cheese. I don't know, but maybe I'll put the plea out
Don't you
there.
have to have like a donkey pee on it or something like that?
I think the donkey has to snuggle up with it or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. They don't
That's
actually have
it.
to pee on it, but yeah. So anybody out there knows how to get some Gammelost. That they still have it in Norway, I guess. I used to harass Bart's Pim, because she's Swedish. I figured she's got to know some Norwegians. Maybe she could hook me up, but I'm not beating that dead horse anymore. So
Which is one of the ingredients to Camelos.
yeah, dead horse. Yeah,
Dead horse.
mostly just the hindquarters, but yeah, and hooves. Oh, they use the nose too. So, but anyways, yeah, there's lots of cheeses out there, and they're all different. And like you said, one person who doesn't tolerate any kind of dairy oftentimes can tolerate some kind of cheese. Of course, some cheeses come in different ages, and a lot of the sugars and proteins in the milk have been sort of transmuted into new stuff. So, and of course, cheese typically contains casomorphines, right? So
Mhm.
they tend to sort of tickle the pleasure center when you eat them. Of course, you can overeat them. And I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say it, like, it's pretty clear to me. A lot of people get a little crazy with the cheese whiz and wind up constipated. So, yeah, it's easy to overdo. So, but it seems like most people don't overdo it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can have a few chunks. I'm pretty good at moderating all foods just in general. That's just not one of my issues. I have many issues, but food issues of that type have never been one of mine. Yeah, and so, if you're chugging down like an entire bowl of cream cheese, that might be a problem. But still better than chugging down a bowl of ice cream. And so it's all where you're coming from,
Or
where
chugging
you're
down a bowl of pudding,
or a bowl of pudding, right?
yeah,
With a lot of things when
a
it comes
bowl
to
of
this,
cereal,
it's relatively relative. Ooh, relatively
or
relative. That's
relatively relative. You're
yes,
getting
there you
awful
go.
deep now.
Uh and when it comes to how much cheese you should have, how much you should allow it, should it be allowed in your diet at all? Again, it depends on where you're coming from and where you're trying to go. What are your goals? What are you trying to treat? What are you trying to help? What are you doing this for? Um, what is your past like? How is your relationship
Yeah,
with your father?
I
All
mean,
that stuff really plays a big part
people's
in it.
relationship with food can be complicated. Cheese is complicated. Some people totally overdo it, and other people they don't. And I think cheese is maybe second to carb addiction, right? At least in the carnivore sort of low carb world. You do hear about people get in trouble with cheese. So that's why I say don't fall down the cheese hole. Know your limits.
Yeah, but they recognize, right? It's pretty easy to be like, dang, I've eaten like a quarter block or an entire block of mozzarella. You feel that, right? Um,
Right. And
and
since you brought
whereas,
up mozzarella, I'd like to point out that the real mozzarella is made from water buffalo, which is a different kind of milk than, say, your typical Holstein, where a lot of mozzarella in the US is made from Holstein milk, which of course has the casein A1 in it, which is problematic for some people. If you get the real water buffalo stuff, you may find out that you can eat mozzarella, right?
yeah, and of course, there's also like raw cheeses, although raw cheese to me just doesn't have as much flavor as so pretty much all cheese, like the yellow cheese, is adulterated with annatto, which is like a coloring agent. and some people are actually allergic to it. So again, if you're having an issue with cheese, it might be the annatto, especially if you like orange cheese in color. And so maybe try raw cheddar instead to see how that does. You goat cheese, a lot of people do really well with brie. Seem to do well with that, which is
Yeah,
goat.
I like the goat cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some goat cheese in the fridge. And funny that you mentioned brie. I would think I was telling you, like, I just bought this big wheel of brie and it looks so amazing. And, you know, I bought the goat cheese at the same time. I was gonna put the brie in the oven, warm it up, and then I was gonna put some goat cheese on it when I brought it out. And it's been sitting there for a week and I haven't touched it. So
There you
big
go.
dreams.
Big
Big dreams about wheels of cheese.
And cheese is great. You can make a pizza and add a bunch of cheeses. You can throw cheese on your eggs. You know, everyone loves an eggy cheese. Plain cooked eggs to me, just not that great, honestly. I feel like they need cheese or something to them.
Yeah, eggs are nice with cheese.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might as well just drink them out of a glass raw.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. That's how I'd prefer it. If I'm not going to let it throw cheese on it or anything, just give me the eggs raw. But yeah, cheese can be a lot of fun, but like everything else, what you feel is acceptable to what you're trying to do. And, you know, just experimenting with different cheeses. Sometimes they got, you know, cheese and bacon, right? That's together. That's amazing. Maybe some herb cheese.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't a scotched egg an egg that's wrapped in bacon and cooked that way? Is that how it is?
I think so.
Do they put cheese in that?
I don't think so.
Damn.
I don't think there's a cheese in a scotched egg. There you go.
The case of
here
Scotch
first.
egg. Yeah.
There you go. You know, when we used to eat cheeseburgers and like a breakfast burrito with cheese, the high from it was probably a big part the bread. So you're not going to get as big of a kick, say like from a tortilla, cheese, and sausage, as you are with just cheese and sausage. But it's still a nice little. It just feels good to be eating it, or just cut up a chunk of cheese, go ahead and have some cheese that's wrapped in like with some pepperoni or something like that. Make a pizza with some cheese. You know, you don't even miss the sauce. Yeah, there's just so many possibilities, so many different things you can do. It's the great emulsifier, the great bringer together.
Yeah, well, sometimes cheese is the glue that holds everything together, right?
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like duct tape.
This is duct tape of the carnivore world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, if you're really hitting that weight loss journey hard, probably not the best advice to hit the cheese. If you're trying to gain weight, I always recommend people chow down on the dairy. It's so easy. You can just sit there and just drink
a bunch of milk
and eat a
milk
bunch
and
of cheese. Yeah.
Milk and cheese, the weight gain diet. There you
go. Definitely. Yeah. And hey, you're still getting some protein, plenty of fat. Mozzarella sticks can also be nice. Now, I do want to caution, when you buy mozzarella or some cheeses at the store, sometimes it is mixed with potato starch or some other starches and things like that. So you may want to watch out to that. If you think you're reacting to a cheese, you may actually be reacting to additives in a cheese. So if you do have an organic or a conscious eating market around you, maybe go in there. It's going to cost you more. I get that. But you know, if you're already doing something that's, not the absolute best, I try to just do it clean at least, you know.
Yeah, and we tend to find we spend a lot less on groceries than we used to, right?
Right. Yeah, because you're not buying the chips and the soda, and
so it makes it easier to splurge. Maybe you want to get yourself a nice wedge of cheese sometime.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And stay away from the chocolate cheese. It has sugar, cheese, cacao. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You ever had chocolate cheese before carnivore?
I might have. I don't recall. Kind of seems like I might have seen it somewhere.
Like a nice dark chocolate.
It actually doesn't sound that good.
It's interesting.
I know last time I think it was the last time I was back in Wisconsin, I bought some sheep cheese. Oh. That was was very pungent, very, very strong cheese. So yeah, caught me by surprise.
What is your favorite cheese, Tom? What do you like
Oh, the
on?
best cheese of them all. I like to give myself a giant brick of Velveeta and just go to
Really?
town. No,
Ew.
just kidding. I think it's
It's not
that's
even
mo-
cheese.
I think it's mostly vegetable oil, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Like sometimes Swiss cheese melt on something's amazing. Of
Swiss
course,
is good.
it's kind of hard to beat just a slice of American cheese on a burger, right?
American cheese is just a mix of cheese together, though. It's not a cheese.
It's different, and yeah, some of the cheaper American cheeses have vegetable oil and stuff in them, soy or something, or
Right.
but some of them don't. And of course, that's probably one of the first things that people react to. Of course, the dose makes the poison, right? So if you're eating,
White American cheese is good. I don't know
yeah,
what's up with
harder to
that.
find than it used to be. I don't know what that
Yeah,
is,
I don't know what that
but
is either.
I like brie. The old cheddars, the really sharp cheddars, love that. Of course, a little mozzarella here and there, a little string cheese makes a nice little snack. you know
Yeah, I kind of feel like us as
Travels well.
Americans, we're not exposed to as many cheeses. There's not like a big cheese. I mean, I get the Midwest, cheese curds, all that stuff. But I just feel like other nations have a lot more cheese culture, and maybe because they're older. I know there's
Maybe.
Fresca, which is like Mexican
Yeah,
cheeses.
yeah.
There's a
Fresco
whole
cheese.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like there's entire
There's
towns on
melting
cheese
cheese. Yeah.
where they just have the cheese outside, you know?
But I like Stilton and I like Manchego. That's a good cheese. It's kind of a harder cheese. And I like the Parmesan Reggiano. I like to buy that. There's a couple somebody's telling me that was it Sprouts or something? They have it and they don't refrigerate it because it changes it. So you
Hmm.
can buy the Parmesan, I think it was a Parmesan Reggiano at room temp, and it's supposedly amazing. I haven't bought it yet. And of course, I like cheese curds, which are kind of like
Mhm.
a young cheese, this kind of comes in a natural lump form. Don't get a lot of that, but back in the Midwest, it's quite common. So, um, I don't know what other kind of cheese. Well, like I said, I've got the goat cheese and the brie. I love the goat cheese, and goat cheese. It's nice because it's real soft. You spread it on stuff, right? So again, there you want a quick snack, just put a little goat cheese on a slice of ham or something. It has turkey or whatever, roast beef, whatever you got. It's pretty amazing.
Or throw some cheese on some burnt Braunschweiger.
Yeah, well, there you go. Like goat cheese and Braunschweiger, freaking amazing. Yeah, get your liver in. Of course, Braunschweiger usually has some starch in it, but it doesn't seem to bother me. So
Right. It has some seasoning, some starch. That is
yeah,
true.
yeah, just seasoned, sure. It's basically fat and liver with seasonings in it. So
It'd be nice to find someone around here where I could get Braunschweiger like natural, like without seasonings and stuff added to it.
but we
Just
got
like
to get Giebel and
pure.
Clark's fine meats off the ground.
There you go.
Get our
The
bologna and
company.
our Braunschweiger made.
There you go.
Our
Now,
pay.
Tom, are
Mm.
you one that, okay, you see a mold spot on the cheese, you're throwing the whole thing out, or are you just cutting that mold spot out and just going to town, carrying on?
Well, if it's a 16-year-old cheddar, I'm not even cutting the mold off. It's going down the hatch the way it is. It's amazing. Well, I mean, if it's really furry or something, yeah, I'll just shave it off. You know, I mean, that's the thing. If you got some really nice cheese, you want to keep wrapping it in a fresh container frequently, and then it doesn't get mold. And the other trick I do is I like the cheese room temperature, especially like a
Right.
really nice sharp cheddar. So I leave it out, and it kind of tends to dry out on the outside, and then it doesn't mold. But I like it. I like to set it out, get it room temperature. You know, problem with that is you get a really nice piece of like sharp cheddar. You're snacking on room temperature. Next thing you know, you want a glass of wine to go with it. So could be problematic, or it could just be a good time,
Depending on your goals, right?
depending
And
on
for
your
the night.
goals. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of, cheese is one of the foods that's allowed, and often for many types of cheese, desired for it to go rotten, right? For flavoring and
Oh,
things like that.
I forgot who it was. Somebody famous said that cheese is the corpse of milk. So I'm sure the vegans are out there. Yeah, you know, cheese is a corpse of milk. I was like, well, it's tasty.
Right.
It's nutritious. Corpse of whatever it is.
Now, Tom, you're pretty good at this. So if you don't know, it's okay. But so when did humans first make cheese, if you know, or it's recorded?
Well, it's not, I don't really know that answer, but you know, somewhere when the I believe the politically correct name for them is the Indo-Europeans. They call themselves the Aryans, and they are a group of people that at one point migrated out of Anatolia, which is in Turkey, you know, a region of Turkey. It's kind of Western Asia. They domesticated animals, so horses and cattle and sheep and stuff like that. And somewhere along there, they started, you know, using the milk. I don't know when cheese, I don't know where the oldest cheese was invented. I know the Vikings were known as cheese traders. They would for whatever reason, those Nordics were really into making cheese, and they sold it all over the place. They would boat it into Italy and Spain and all kinds of stuff. So
probably to get through the winter. I mean, it's like preserved food, isn't it?
Way of preserving it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we've seen that somebody had posted something the other day about a powdered milk product that's really old. Like they evaporated the milk and they pack it into balls. I know somebody's going to be like posting an autistic carnivores like, yeah, the article's right here. We were just talking about it. So a lot of that stuff. And of course, we know the Mongols were known for, they made milk into like a paste that lasted a long time. And they, you know, was highly, you know, it was durable enough they could take it on horseback, right, and consume it as a staple, right? So I don't know if that's technically cheese, but I suppose it's in that that category, right? It's kind of got to be similar, like a yogurt or something.
Yeah. Oh, cottage cheese. Is cottage cheese cheese?
Sure. Just like cream cheese is cheese, right? Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's an enzymatic. Most cheeses are, you know, the effect of some kind of enzymes on the proteins or proteins and probably and sugars in the milk, turning it into a slightly different form. And it's not that big of a strain. I mean, if you took and strained the curds out of cottage cheese, you know, and kind of got the water out of it and then packed it, that's getting pretty close to cheese curds.
Right.
But of course, you know, they use different cultures for different flavors to get, you know, like a cheddar or some other kind of cheese, you know.
So now, is butter cheese? No, right? Because there's no enzyme.
Butter is mostly the fat from the milk, right?
Right.
So yeah, so and if you've ever accidentally left the mixer on with some cream in it, you'll find out how fast you can make a big lump of cheese or a big lump of butter. So I did that one time. I was cooking and I was gonna make some whipped cream. I think it was Mother's Day. And they invited my mother and somebody else over for brunch or something. I was like, I'm gonna whip them up some fresh whipped cream. And I don't know. I think the coffee maker started overflowing onto the floor or something, and I stopped cleaning it up, and the mixture was running. I turned around, and I heard thump, 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 thump. The cream had turned into butter. This big ball of butter stuck. I was like, that was cream like 30 seconds ago. What happened? Yeah. So yeah, that's what happens is you beat it. You know, you've seen the pictures of the wooden.
Yeah,
like
we used to have some at my house. There's stories of my great grandmother churning butter. So yeah, like we still have the churns like at the house.
Yeah, so the fat clumps together when you agitate it like that, and that's what butter is. So butter's not really cheese, I don't think.
No, not a cheese. All right. Now, is cereal a salad or a soup? It's the real question.
I'm gonna go with soup, cold soup, you know.
I know. I think it's a salad.
You do?
You could throw a dressing. Milk's the dressing.
Yeah, it could be broth too, or you know, like I mean, they make soups with milky, creamy bases, maybe like a clam chowder. Right?
That's true. I don't know. Cereal though. But certainly not carnivore though.
Mm-mm.
Unless you're having what did Joe post today? What was it? Ground beef with pork belly or something like that? Or was it chunks of steak? And it was like in a bowl. He said it was like carnivore cereal.
I missed that. I have
Yeah.
to go back and look for it.
I used to just get a bunch of ground beef, throw it in a bowl, and just eat it. Heat it up and eat it with like the fat, and just like carnivore cereal.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, not so sure about that, but I'll let you have that one because you've obviously thought about whether cereal is a salad or a soup more than I have.
So. Yeah, unfortunately, living that life.
So have you ever chopped up a bunch of cheese, put it in a bowl, and poured milk on it and ate it?
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. So it's happened accidentally.
It's happened accidentally. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like so that wasn't like just missing something.
Is that a soup or a salad?
That's a soup because there's no like plant material in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dairy soup.
Yeah, dairy soup.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody out there for watching. We hope you're entertained. Maybe you learned a little something. Maybe you want to pass it on, send the link out, help us grow. It's
clearly time to go because Tom's turned bright red, like Mr. Krabs for some reason.
Yeah, you know what it is? The screen filter kicked in because it's 9 o'clock and I got 2 giant screens in front of me that turned red. So I forgot to turn that setting off. So the light reflecting on me is turning red. So with that fine note, we'll just remind everybody out there, eat some meat and a little bit of cheese, feel better. And whatever you do,
don't fall down the cheese hole.